It always surprises me the number of micro brands there are out there. There are tons of micro brands, and it seems like there's a new micro brand popping up every few minutes. Today we're taking a look at a brand that I've never featured here on my channel. I don't think I've ever seen a review for. It's called Julian Michaels, and they make dress watches that are inspired by the pandemic. So these were actually designed during the pandemic, so their dials take direct inspiration from that experience, and we'll talk about that during the video. I'm also going to be giving away one of these watches. I'll give you a little bit more detail during this video, however that will take place in a separate video during a collection giveaway. So definitely stay tuned and subscribe if you have not. Anyway, let's flip the camera and take a look at a very interesting watch, the Julian Michaels Infinity 2. So I have 3 dial colors to show you guys. I think they only make 4 dial colors, so I have a majority of the colors of this watch. This is called the Infinity 2, and this is their second watch from Julian Michaels. What they've done here is taken inspiration from the pandemic. So this was actually designed during the pandemic. They used it as inspiration, which I think a lot of people got into something during the pandemic, so they started making watches. You can see the dial has a very interesting pattern on it. This is the green dial variant right here, and it has a pattern that is sort of circular and it is radiating from the center of the dial. However, there are, I think, 4 different patches of that radial texture. And that is the first level of the dial. Then there's a second layer of the dial, and that has sort of a minute track, it's a railroad track, and then you have applied indices. Before I get into it, I do want to mention that I'm going to be giving away one of these watches. So this is the, I think it's like a champagne off-white dial. This is a green dial, and then this is the blue dial. I really like the blue and the green. However, this champagne off-white dial, usually I'm not a huge fan of off-white or white in general, but I'm actually impressed with the overall design of these dials. So like I was mentioning, there's that pattern in the middle that represents the chaos of the pandemic when they were actually designing this watch. And then there's a small snail on the second hand, which is something I've never seen from a brand before. That snail is actually loomed. So the indices are loomed, the hands are loomed, and that second hand, that little snail on the second hand is loomed. And they're just saying, you know, reminding you, take it one step at a time at your own pace while all the chaos is going on behind you. Kind of cool, a little bit of a message there. And they sent over these 3 watches, and I get to give one away, which I am very excited about. I'll be giving that away in a different video. I'm going to be giving away a collection of watches. I think it's going to be 2 or 3 watches, so definitely stay tuned. That's going to be happening very, very soon. We're just wrapping up another giveaway that will end very soon. So these are all dress watches. They're all powered by an NH35. You do get a date at the 3 o'clock position. That date is a little bit awkwardly placed. It sort of crosses over that top portion of the dial and the bottom portion of the dial. I would probably go dateless with this watch. However, they chose to add the date. I think they made a watch, their previous watch, the Infinity 1, was dateless. And they decided to add a date for the Infinity 2. They probably got a lot of people asking for it, so obviously they went and added it. They also added loom to this dial, which I believe their first version, their first Infinity 1, did not have loom. This is around a 41 millimeter watch at the case, 41 millimeters spot on. It's actually surprisingly thin. You're getting a screwed in crown, 100 meters of water resistance, so 11.6 millimeters. The case back is etched. It has some information about the watch. That's basically it, and has that same pattern that you get on the dial. I'll do a close-up so you can see what I'm talking about. It is screwed in as well, so you do get a screwed in case back. That's how you're getting the 100 meters of water resistance. The lug-to-lug on here, you do have male end links, so it is a little bit larger than the effective. Well, the effective lug-to-lug is a little bit larger than the actual lug-to-lug at the case, so it is 47.3, but if you're measuring at that bracelet, 51.9 millimeters. You have a small crown. The crown is signed with the JM logo. 5.2 millimeters. Bracelet is nice, solid links. I believe it is a friction fitted pin. I don't think there is a collar. I'm not sure, but I don't believe there is a collar. And then you have a double push button butterfly closure for the clasp. So very nice, very satisfying. You do have to do one side before you do the other. You can see on all of them, it's the same. You have that little JM logo again right there. And there's that cream dial. Cream dial does have a little bit of a different look from the other two. You have those black hands, or black polished hands, I should say. So when they are in direct light, they kind of wash away, but when they are in direct light, you get that black polish. They do really stand out very, very well against that creamy white background. Interesting watch, interesting design, and very interesting inspiration. I could do without the date, and I could do without, of course, the polished center links, which I could always do without. I don't like polishing on pretty much any of my watches, but I really like this cream dial. And then, of course, a traditional blue dial. You can never really go wrong with that. Price on this watch is $290 right now on their website. You don't need any codes, none of that BS. It's a pretty nice watch for $290. I think this would look really good on a strap. I'm not going to try and put it on a strap because I don't want to scratch these watches. And obviously I'll be giving one away, so whichever one the person who wins gets, I don't want it to be scratched. You can tell this would look really good on a strap. $290 on a bracelet is an excellent price. Very good looking watch with a textured dial, automatic Seiko movement, pretty good lume, can't go wrong. Very quickly, let me show you the watch that I have on my wrist. It is a watch that I am currently giving away. I'm going to be doing a live stream where I will announce the winner for this watch. So that will be a live stream on my channel, not on Whatnot. I'm not sure where these watches will be given away. I'll give that information in the next video. And there's the blue dial on my 7.5 inch wrist. 41 millimeters spot on and under 12 millimeters thick, around 11.5 millimeters thick. And there's the green on my 7.5 inch wrist. This measured at the lugs at around 40, I think it was around 49 millimeters at the case, but if you include the bracelet, it's around 52 millimeters, just under 52 millimeters, so keep that in mind. And there's the cream dial on my 7.5 inch wrist. Actually surprised. I think this could be my favorite out of the trio. As I see it on camera, I'm really starting to appreciate it. I think this is a really great dial, and I like the textures. I like everything about it, except for maybe the date. It does have a nice surround around it, and I like the hands. I think they did a really good job. The hour and a minute hand is sort of a dagger. Those are filled with lume. And then of course you have that needle seconds hand with that little snail, which is lumed. Well, there you go, lume. Not terrible on this watch. In fact, for a dress watch, this has very good lume. It has sort of a bluish or light blue hue to it. It's the same on the hands and the indices. And of course, you have that little snail that is lumed on all three watches. And it looks pretty cool. There's a little snail that's going around. Obviously, in the dark, you really can't tell that it's a snail, but in the day, in the light, you can definitely see that it's a snail, which looks pretty cool. Overall, I'm impressed with this watch for the price. $290 is a pretty good price for a watch with these specs. Tell me what you guys think down in the comments below, and also don't forget, I'll be giving away one of these watches included in a bigger giveaway that will be dropping very soon here on my channel as a thank you to you guys. Obviously, I love to do giveaways often, so this will be another big giveaway that I'll be doing here on my channel, so definitely stay tuned for that. It will be done in a separate video, and I'll give you full details there. Anyway, I'll put a link to Julian Michaels down in the description below. Definitely check them out if you are interested in one of these watches. And please also don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell icon. It's very much appreciated. Anyway, guys, I will catch you guys in the next video.